Hello humans, I'm Johannes from Hong Kong and today I will show you how to make this sound. So on this scroll I played around with the new comp filter from Serum. If you don't have that, you have to update your Serum because I think the filter came with the last update or the last two updates, I don't know. So if it's missing in your Serum, get an update. So let's get into it. I only need one oscillator. It's oscillator B. Basic shapes. It's set to saw and level at 0. Then we need the sub oscillator. Direct out is turned on. Sine, level at 0. And now, important thing, LFO curve. So you need to copy this curve right here. And there are two important things about this LFO. So one thing is the loopback point is set here. Now what is that? That means that if I turn this whole LFO mode to envelope and I start the LFO, it loops. And it loops from the point that is set here. Like that we get the different movements from the wobble. So that's pretty important to set it here. And next thing is the delay. So I set this to 1/128. Yeah, I think it's just to get some groove because everything is kind of laid back. I do this pretty often actually, just to make things interesting and weird. So yeah, these two things are pretty important, and set it to envelope and to a half. Now we put it on the level of this oscillator on 44. And on the sub oscillator on 65. Now it should sound like this. Yeah. Sounds pretty crappy, huh? And the funny thing is we won't use anything else here. So we just go over to the FX tab. And first thing, as usual, distortion. And I use the distortion as a filter. I do this so often. I think it's one of my most used techniques. It's sinefold, turn to pre, and looks like this. It's like a bandpass filter. I do this so often when making wobbles or growls or anything like that. Really narrow, and with a high Q, 3.2. And it gets modulated, the frequency of this band here, by our LFO, and the modulation is around 88. And the LFO is also on the drive, around 57. Now it should sound like this. It gets kind of growly, wobbly right now. So next up is the most important thing, and yeah, it's the comp filter. It's the Distortion Comp 1 bandpass. And yeah, this one is doing some more filtering, but the most important thing, like this comp frequency drive resonance combination, is making it growly. Like that. So cutoff is set to 57 Hz, modulation around 100, resonance 31%, modulation around 16, drive around 74%, modulation 87 up. Comp frequency is on 84% and the modulation -21. I made all these modulations just by goofing around. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just like turning knobs and putting the LFO everywhere. So don't think that I had something in mind while doing this. This was really random. So next up, the EQ, and I'm just pushing the highs really hard, 18 dB, yeah, whatever. And after that, OTT, I think I changed something here. I don't know, maybe the threshold is a bit down. And last up, some dimension expander, really standard stuff. And we got our sound. Now, when playing around with it, I discovered that you can do pretty cool stuff with it. So, for example, you can turn this shape here to sine. and you get a different sound. Or yeah, I think sine and so sound best. So I build a macro to switch between them. But it gets really crazy if you change the comp frequency right here. You can make it even a bit blurry if you pull the modulation over here. Like weird detuned stuff. Or if you want to have it a bit more bit crushy, you can turn this resonance up right here. And then turn the comp frequency up again. And change the wavetable again. Oh, that sounds like shit. Oh, wow. What the fuck? So, oh, what is going on now? I think you can do so much funny stuff with this comp filter. So just play around with it, don't think too much, and see you next time.
Deep dive, deep dive.